Is there a such thing as unproductive labor? And does it make a difference in how the labor movement organizes? Well, yes. All right. Marx's writing on surplus value and labor generally applies to production. It applies to people making goods in factories. And in Capital, Marx describes how half of the working class in Britain at the time that he's writing is not productive. They are not involved in productive labor, right? The servants in the houses of the rich people, not involved in productive labor. The guys who clean the stables and look after the rich people's horses, not productive labor, right? The butlers, not productive labor. The guys who sweep the streets, not productive labor, right? There's all kinds of, he said half of the wage workers in Britain are not involved at the point of production. They are not creating surplus value in a factory. That's what that means, right? That if you are in a factory and you're on an assembly line creating a product, you are putting value into that product, and that product comes out at the end of the assembly line. And it is your human labor that puts the value into the product. Machines do not create value. They are dead. They are dead capital, right? It is only human labor that puts the value into it. And the capitalist can only exploit human labor at the point of production. And this is the reason for the tendency of the rate of profits to fall. As the role of the worker in production is diminished, the rate of profit that the capitalist can make off of each product goes down. So he's forced to make more products because the amount of profit, the percentage of profit that he gets goes down. The less the worker is involved in production, the less profits the capitalist can make, because the profits that the capitalists make can only come through exploiting labor, because only human labor creates value, right? And this is a problem in the capitalist system, and it exacerbates the already existing problem of overproduction, which is the worker never gets paid enough to buy back what he makes, right? The worker can never afford to buy back what he makes. On top of that, the tendency of the rate of profit to fall, the role of human labor being diminished, leads to exacerbating this problem, because the rate of profit that the capitalist makes on each product goes down when the role of the worker in the process of production decreases. So most of what Marx was talking about, with the tendency of the rate of profit to fall, with the problem of overproduction, with surplus value, most of what he's writing about applies to workers that are involved in factory production. And non-productive labor refers to employees who are engaged in performing services for capitalists, right? Capitalist hires somebody to clean his house. A capitalist hires somebody to make food for him. The capitalist government hires people to sweep the streets. The capitalist government hires teachers to teach in the schools and facilitate education. All of these are forms of labor that are considered non-productive because they are not involved in producing surplus value or value that goes into a product. And that organizing at the point of production in a factory is quite different than organizing teachers or organizing street sweepers or organizing other employees. Because, one of the big demands, for example, of the labor movement historically, of industrial workers, has been open the books. They want to see the profit margin that the capitalists are making and demand that they get a bigger share of it. And the capitalists, when the capitalists, don't want to sign a union contract, don't want to raise the workers' wages, they'll often say to the workers, it won't be profitable if I do that. So historically, workers have demanded transparency. They say, open the books, let us see how much you make off of every car, and we'll see if we're getting our fair share of it. Well, the demand to open the books doesn't make sense when you're organizing street sweepers or teachers, because the books are already there. It's the public budget. It's the government that's hiring them, right? The demand of open the books doesn't exactly make the same amount of sense, when the capitalist is hiring someone to clean his house, right? He's show me your income. It doesn't make the same kind of thing. The capitalist isn't turning the person he hires to clean his house or clean his stables or take care of his kids. He's not hiring them to make surplus value and profits from their labor. Instead, he's hiring them to perform a service. So yes, there are differences in how you organize service sector workers rather than workers who are organized at the point of production. And organized at the point of production, those workers are directly involved in creating surplus value. That's the issue there.